What an utter, and I should have gotten the hint when I saw every Joe Schmo from off the street that literally looked like they rolled out of bed fucking homeless, waiting in line to get into this thing. PSA to marshals, please don't waste our time. We spend a lot of our time curating content, editing, filming, posting, and for you to waste our time with this is such a slap in the face.
The thing that she appears to be the most bothered by is that there are regular people at this event and that it's not an exclusive influencer only type thing. So what if there are regular people in your presence? Why does it have to be a creator only event in order for you to find it valuable or worth your time? It's giving, I'm better than you and I deserve special treatment, and when I realized I wasn't getting it, I threw a tantrum. Get over yourself. The audacity of influencers thinking that they're so important that everyone in the world should cater to them never ceases to amaze me. Influencers seem to suffer from something called main character syndrome. They see themselves as the protagonist in their own life and everyone around them just plays a supporting role. It's another way of saying that you're really self-centered and you think the world revolves around you and you believe that everybody else should cater to you and your desires because of how highly you think of yourself. You have this inflated sense of self-importance, and for influencers, this stems from their social media presence, usually regarding how many followers they have. I think some influencers tend to place a lot of their value and their self-worth and their importance in the number of followers they have, and they fail to realize that internet followers mean absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. They think they've achieved some level of celebrity-like status where people should know who they are, and that they should now be receiving things for free, and that the peasants of the world should just treat them better because of their online social media status. Yeah, you might have a couple thousand, a couple 100,000, even a couple million followers, and those are large numbers, but it doesn't mean that you get to walk around in the world like everybody owes you something. But some influencers, a lot of influencers do. They expect free stuff, they want special treatment, they want access to certain events or experiences, and then they'll throw temper tantrums like toddlers when they don't get what they want. It's the most insane thing to witness from grown adults. This has been a topic that I've really wanted to cover for a while now, and I've been collecting a couple examples for the past few months, but there's really no better time than now to make this video because there have been two really recent pieces of TikTok drama that involve influencers exposing themselves for being really entitled and acting in out-of-pocket ways, and the internet is not happy with them, and it's really impacting how they're choosing to move forward with their social media platforms. So I'm going to show you the two most recent examples that just happened in the last week, and then I have two more that happened a few months ago that I've kind of been holding on to until I had enough examples to make a whole video out of. I want to wrap them all into this one video because they all fit the theme of main character syndrome. Lots to cover today, but first I'd love to give a moment for today's sponsor, Typology. I've been using Typology skincare exclusively for the last 16 months, and I know that you've likely heard me rave about them on more than one occasion, but there's a new to me Typology product that I just started using, and I'm really excited to tell you about it. Typology is a French-made skincare brand, and their products have short, minimalistic formulas made with over 80% ingredients of natural origin. And although I've been using their serums, cleansers, moisturizers, tinted skincare products for well over a year now, I recently discovered their reusable eye mask that I've been loving lately. This set comes with a balm made with plant collagen and polyglutamic acid that's going to reduce the depth of wrinkles and retain skin moisture in that really sensitive under eye area. So I put on a layer of that, and then I take the reusable silicone patches and let those sit for about 10 minutes. My favorite part of these is that they adhere really well. They're not going to slide down your face, and you can use them over and over indefinitely. When you're done with them, just rinse them with water and store them for next time. On days where I'm going for the most minimal of minimal looks, I'll just focus on brightening my eye area to help me look more awake. So I'll do the eye mask followed by the tinted concealer made with caffeine and niacinamide to conceal my dark circles, and then I'll use the serum mascara made with pea peptides and castor oil because I have very short blonde eyelashes and mascara always helps me feel a little bit more put together. And with Typology's active ingredients, it will help them strengthen and grow over time. It's a very simple 3-step routine for enhancing the eye area and achieving a really natural, I just woke up like this kind of look. To give Typology a try, you can check out the link in the description box below, and if you shop over $40 using that link within the next week, then Typology is going to send you a resurfacing lip peel for free. Thanks again, Typology, for your longtime support of the channel. Let's start with piece of recent TikTok drama number 1. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've been tagged in these videos lately. This is the JL Patisserie Glamorama Drama. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, good. That's what I'm here for. I'm going to explain everything. Glamorama is a micro-influencer with 16,000 followers on TikTok, although she recently changed her name to Aurora G after the backlash of all this drama. And the main focus of her content is food reviews. She goes to local restaurants, she tries the food, she makes TikTok videos about them. And earlier this month, she went to a bakery called JL Patisserie. This is a French bakery located in Phoenix, Arizona, and here's the review video that Glamorama posted about her experience there.
I do not mind spending $10 on a pastry if they are really good, but you cannot use fake ingredients. That pistachio color is about as natural as my boobs and waistline. The coffee was super sour and acidic, but I prefer a creamy chocolatey espresso. $5 for a canali. I didn't even pay that in Santro pay, but that's the price next to the Phoenix airport. Okay. I was also super disappointed in the quiche. I prefer a quiche with a thick, rich, buttery crust. This had a paper thin crust. If I wanted to ingest this much eggs, I would have eaten an omelet. I absolutely loved the pumpkin pie croissant, but everything was a little on the sweet and rich side, which some people love. Personally, I like my sweets a little less sweet, so I'd rather get treated like shit and go to Paris baguette. Now, with all of that being said, I think if you stay away from the expensive ingredients like these nuts, you can definitely enjoy a delicious, rich pastry here.
Okay. Yikes. Her food review style is a bit brash, but maybe that's how she's trying to capture your attention and sort of set herself apart. Because as we know, being a little on the fringe, being a little controversial, that does get you views, right? But what you should take away from this video is that she had almost nothing nice to say about any of these pastries. The pistachio pastry tasted like it was made with fake pistachio. The coffee was too sour and acidic. The cannelli was too expensive. The quiche had too much egg and not enough crust. The only thing that she said she liked was the pumpkin croissant, but then she immediately followed up that comment by saying, but it was too sweet. I don't like things that are too sweet. So in conclusion, I think we can all agree this was a bad review. She didn't have pretty much anything positive to say. All of her opinions were negative and critical, and some people were put off by the delivery of her commentary as well. That very well may have been the end of it, but in a twist of events that I absolutely love, the bakery posted their own video addressing this review. And here's where it really gets juicy.
So we recently had an influencer reach out to us and asked to do a collaboration, and we respectfully declined because it was not in our budget right now. Then she essentially tried to blackmail us by saying if we offered the food for free, she would then write a good review about us. I told her we'd think about it, but she still came in the next day. And although we hadn't agreed to collab with her, we recognized her when she came in, and we still were very accommodating and offered her extra drinks. So we totally respect a bad review. But what we don't like is lying and bullying. The first thing she said was that our pistachio was so faked. Fun fact, we have right here our pistachio paste that is 100% pistachios from Italy. All of our flours that we use in our product, the farine de blé, épeautre, gruyère rouge, all comes on a pallet from Europe. And also, this is our panettone flour, straight from Italy. It's written entirely in Italian. Not bad for close to the airport bakery. Beyond the fact that we spend 10 times the amount of money to buy the ingredients, the most valuable part of our product is the time we spend to make them. From our sourdough starter to our dough, every single thing is handmade from scratch.
To make this, we spent 6 months to learn it, how to feed it, know how to work with it.
And it only likes the flour from Italy. And this isn't just about me. This specific influencer has gone to many different local restaurants and bullied them. The problem is if the next generation is influenced by her to believe it's okay to bully and disrespect the food industry. We like working with influencers, but acting like the working class is beneath you and promoting this kind of message on social media and bribing us for free stuff is not really something we support. My biggest pride in what I've built here isn't just how I source my ingredients, but it's having found the people to be in my team that wake up every day and that care about what we do, our processes, and that work really, really hard to do this. And most of all, thank you to our customers, sincerely, because it's thanks to you that since day one, I get to live my dream of having a bakery. And thanks to your support, I've been able to continue to be as true to my art.
Talk about getting called out. Oh my god, I love it. Yeah, so now we have a little bit more context surrounding Glamorama's bad review of this French bakery because she asked for free stuff and the bakery told her no. So she came in the next day to film a bad review for revenge. That's how it appears. Classic entitled influencer behavior to be expecting that local businesses are going to give you free stuff in exchange for a chance to be featured on your oh so valuable social media platform. And then throwing a tantrum when you don't get what you want. It's so cringe. And to add another layer of cringe, JL Patisserie doesn't need publicity from being featured on Glamorama's account. Glamorama, or now Aurora G on TikTok, has 16,000 followers, while JL Patisserie has 473,000 followers. And actually, according to Social Blade, 206,000 of these followers have been gained in the days since this drama unfolded. Hundreds of thousands of people have decided to follow JL Patisserie to show their support for the bakery, which I'm sure Glamorama is just fuming about considering she set out on a mission to make the bakery look bad. But even before the bakery gained all these new followers, they still had significantly more than Glamorama did. And I'm not trying to follower shame, I'm just pointing out that they probably didn't see the value in collaborating with a smaller creator if they've already got a really substantial social media presence of their own. Why would you pay an influencer for a collaboration or give them free food in exchange for being publicized to an audience that is 1/16th the size of your own? Just from a business standpoint, that's not a good return on investment. You're not going to do that. So they told Glamorama, sorry, we don't really have the budget right now for a collaboration. And that's a nice way of saying, we don't see the value in this collaboration. We're not interested. It wouldn't be worth it to us to pay you a certain amount of money to be advertised to your 16,000 followers. So this clapback video from the bakery went viral. It's up to 63 million views by the time this video is going live, and it resulted in the bakery gaining over 200,000 followers in a matter of days. In other words, this situation worked out really well for the bakery and really bad for Glamorama. She, in response to all of this drama, deleted not only her original review video of the bakery, but every single video on her entire account, and then she also changed her account name. But not before I was able to screen record her clapback response to the bakery's video, which, spoiler, did not go over very well with her viewers.
Then she essentially tried to blackmail us by saying if we offered the food for free, she would then write a good review about it.
God damn, someone finally stood up to me. You know what? I gotta say, kudos, for real. I respect that. I do. What I don't respect are the lies. So, here are the receipts. You want the truth. You can't handle the truth. I never said that I would leave a good review for a free meal. I have never done that, and I will never do that. So I think it's a bit of a stretch to say that I was bullying you. You have way more followers than I do. You are way cooler than I am. I will admit that. Like, I would love to have the online presence that you do. So if anything, you're kind of punching down. My video got what, like 7,400, I think, maybe 12,000, 13,000 on Instagram. It didn't do great.
I want to take a moment to pause and read you the screenshots of this message exchange just so you can get the full context, because they're sort of arguing about how this communication went down. The bakery said that she was asking for free food in exchange for a good review. Glamorama saying no, that didn't happen. So let's read the messages. You can decide for yourself. Glamorama sends a DM on Instagram to the bakery and she says, hello, many friends have highly recommended your pastries. They look amazing. I saw the pumpkin one on TikTok. I was hoping to come do a reel on Saturday or Sunday. Would you be interested in a collab? Thank you. The bakery responds back saying, hi, thanks for thinking of us. Unfortunately, right now we have no budget at all to spare, so we wouldn't be able to do a paid partnership with you. Hope you understand. Thank you. Glamorama responds back saying, hi, thank you for your response. I'm not sure if you're familiar with my page, but I do honest reviews. I do not charge for my content. When it's a collab, I will still do the honest review and highlight and focus on what I enjoyed and be softer and quicker on my words with what I may not like as much. If the experience is terrible, I won't post anything for the kindness of the hospitality. The meal will need to be comped, including the gratuity. So give me free food and I still don't want to tip your staff. Cool. If this all looks like something you would be interested in, let me know. Thank you. The bakery responds back saying, okay, thank you for clarifying. I'll let the team know and we will get back to you. And she said, sounds great. So in these initial messages, it seems like the bakery thought that she wanted a lump sum of money to come in and do a review. And so she's responding back saying, no, I don't want any money. I just want free food. And I don't want to have to tip the staff either. It's It's just an extra level of entitlement. I cannot get over that. And then it looks like maybe a day or two went by and Glamorama responds back to the bakery saying, "Hello, I never heard back from you. We went in this morning. The staff was very kind. The pastries are beautiful, but there was definitely more miss than hit from what we ordered." And the bakery responded back saying, "Thanks for coming by and the feedback." So when I read these messages, I feel like Glamorama is straight up saying, give me free food, and in exchange, I'll post a review of your bakery that highlights all the good things and glosses over any of the bad things. And if the whole experience is truly terrible, then I'm just not gonna post anything at all, which is crazy to me for two reasons. Number one, she claims to do honest food reviews, but nothing about this message communicates that she's gonna be acting with any level of integrity. She's making a deal with the bakery saying, if you give me free stuff, then I'm gonna make your bakery look really good. And if it's really not a good experience, then I'm not gonna tell the public about that because you gave me free stuff. What about that is honest? And number two, what she's saying in this message exchange feels like proof that the bad review of the bakery that she did end up posting was just out of spite. Because she's saying here that she won't post about it if the experience is terrible as long as they give her free food. But in this case, she did post a bad review where she had almost nothing nice to say about the bakery because she's upset that they didn't give her free food. The only thing she mentioned tolerating was the pumpkin croissant, and even that she had something negative to say about it. All of her other commentary about her experience there was critical. Keep that in mind as we continue to watch this.
I also said nice things in that video. I actually do think if you stay away from the nuts, if you're like me that don't like that fake pistachio flavor, I still have one of your other pastries here. Well, this one was a pistachio, so it hasn't been eaten yet, but the pumpkin one that I loved and raved about, I'm not exaggerating. I ate it about 2 hours ago, and I will say it's been frozen for days since Saturday. Pulled it out after about 30 minutes. It was still phenomenal, and I'll stand by that.
You didn't love anything. You didn't rave about anything in your original review, though. You said that you liked the pumpkin croissant, but you also said that it was too sweet. She's trying to rewrite the narrative of what actually happened. And what actually happened is that she had something negative to say about every single thing she tried. She did not rave about anything.
We also didn't get free drinks. We did get a free shot of espresso, which was so nice. Like, the French man that works there, he was the sweetest man ever. I said I liked my coffee strong. He sent out a free shot of espresso. That was so, so nice. Regardless, Jenna, I respect your balls. I do respect your talent. It may not be always my taste, but I do respect your talent. I think you make beautiful pastries. I'd work on that quiche though. And I hope both your sides of your pillow are cold at night, and I do wish you nothing but the best.
The comments on this were hilarious because she really thought that this was going to go over well and that this would help her case, and it really didn't. Some of the comments said, "I was team bakery before I saw this video, but now after listening to your perspective, I'm even more team bakery." Everything you showed backs up the bakery. We didn't get free drinks, also her. We got free espresso. The meal will need to be comped. Oh, who is you? Ma'am, in the nicest way, who are you? And this is exactly the entitled behavior that people are picking up on. Just because you have a few thousand followers online makes you feel bold enough to, number one, ask for free food, but number two, admit that you're not planning to tip the staff either. It's just insanity. I can't believe the audacity of some people. Like, who do you think you are, genuinely? And I haven't done food reviews or restaurant influencing or anything like that, but I feel like you should pay for your own food always. Go in, have a normal customer experience, pay for your food, and then give your honest, authentic review. It's weird to have this predetermined arrangement of like, depending on if you give me free stuff or not, depends on how I'm gonna sway my review. And please correct me if I'm wrong, this is not tax advice, okay? But wouldn't this be a tax write-off? If your business is to be a food reviewer, then wouldn't the food qualify as a necessary business expense in order to run your business? Save your receipts from everywhere you go and then claim them on your taxes. I think, talk to a tax professional, don't trust what I'm saying, I know nothing. And then in return, you're not creating these terms and conditions for yourself that will impact your ability to give an honest review. It's sadly looking like Glamorama ended her food reviewing future before it ever really began. I think she came in way too hot, her head was too big, she was too entitled, and unfortunately the truth came to light when the bakery posted their response video, and it totally rocked her world. As I said, she changed her TikTok username, she deleted all of her posts, and the only thing that remains on her account right now is this photo. It's like a written statement in which she denies that she only gave the bakery a negative review because they didn't give her free food, but that she understands how it came off that way. And at the end, she said says, "To the bakery, I'm sincerely sorry for any harm my words have caused. I respect the time, effort, and heart that goes into running a business, and I genuinely wish you nothing but success moving forward. At the end of the day, we're all human. Sometimes we mess up publicly, and all we can do is take accountability, learn, and grow from it. Thank you to everyone who reached out with kindness, and even to those who've held me accountable. I hear you, and I'm using this as an opportunity to grow and do better." And you know what? I respect it. She apologized. She said, "I recognize where I messed up. I'm taking accountability. I'm taking this as an opportunity to grow and learn and do better in the future." That's all you can really ask for, right? But the reality is that people are going to pick this apart and be upset with her response no matter what she says. But I do appreciate that she's at least attempting to take accountability and sort of address it. Yes, she made a mistake and it did make her look pretty bad, but hopefully this is a reality check for her that entitled behavior isn't cute, it's not respectable, and humility and honesty will take you a lot farther if you're looking to grow on social media and to become a food reviewer that people can actually trust. And one additional update I have for you is that just yesterday I went back to try and find Glamorama's account again, and I can't even find the Aurora G account. I feel like everything is completely gone. It's looking like she disabled her social media accounts completely. Time will tell if she ever decides to try food reviewing again in the future, but for now it's looking like she's taking a big step back from social media as a result of this bad JL patisserie review situation. The next piece of recent TikTok drama is also involving a micro-influencer who thinks incredibly highly of herself. Her name is Kimberly and she goes by @HomeWithKim on TikTok, and she has 8,000 followers, and she received a message from the official account for Marshalls. Like this Marshalls, like the discount retail chain that sells things like clothing and homewares. The message that Kimberly got looked like this: "Hi, we know how much you love Marshalls and fashion, so we'd love to personally invite you to the Marshalls Style Closet, a one-day experience that brings fall's biggest trends to life. Join us at 216 Lafayette in Soho this Friday, October 10th from 11 to 5. We can't wait to see you there." Kimberly gets this message and she decides that she's going to go to this Marshalls pop-up event. Here are some snippets of the video that she posted about that experience. Unsurprisingly, she deleted her full video that she had posted, but somebody who goes by Honey Badger Crochet on TikTok reposted this portion of it to her TikTok account. So that's how I was able to get a hold of this. Thank you for that.
At this point, I had been in the line almost an hour and a half, and about 45 minutes in, I had decided I was just going to wait it out since I made the trip already, and to film how ridiculous this was going to be, because I could already tell from the people in the line. You go in, you were told to grab a key off the wall and insert it into the matching number of the drawer, and you would get something. Of course, the key didn't work, and I was like, yep, we are still ghetto coming in here. And she was like, oh, no, you're doing it wrong. I was like, I think I flipped the key 8 which ways, but whatever. Finally got it open, and I won a color analysis. Yeah, it's an event for waiting and nothing else. And then I went outside and look at all the rest of these people, look at the people in the line, and this is what was waiting to go in. And I said, I wanted to hand one of them my macro and say, this is what you're waiting for, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna let them be. And I said, I just need a drink, so I popped into Jack's wife Frida, and the bartender made me a perfect Cosmo to wind down before I had a serious crash out.
What an utter... And I should have gotten the hint when I saw every Joe Schmo from off the street that literally looked like they rolled out of bed f***ing homeless, waiting in line to get into this thing. PSA to Marshalls, if you're gonna go ahead and slide in the DMs of a creator that you see on here, a content creator tagging you constantly in videos, and you're gonna go ahead and say, we invite you in capital letters to this event and join us, please don't waste our time. We spend a lot of our time curating content, editing, filming, posting, and for you to waste our time with this is such a slap in the face. I feel like I never want to shop at Marshalls again. That's exactly how I feel. Color analysis, babe, stop. Please make sure that you have a content creator day, and that you also have a day where any schmuck could come in. I'm peanuts. I am nobody on here, and I know that such a big brand like Marshalls, for them to do that, and I can tell who was a content creator in the line and who wasn't. You can tell by how we dress, you can tell by our hair, you can tell by, but 80% of the line, I really don't mean to be mean. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and everyone has their own lives and everyone has their own means to get by, and I am not a materialistic person, but when you contact content creators and invite them to places, I can't wait to get home.
This 2.5-minute version of this video is pretty chopped up. The original video was supposedly 10 minutes long, but this is all we have left of it now that she's deleted the original. Somebody out there screen recorded the original and kind of spliced it together, giving just the highlights, and then reposted it for everyone else to see. So for a little bit more context, you can see down here from her caption, we can gather that she drove an hour and a half into New York City. I believe she lives in like the New Jersey area. She paid $16 in tolls and $50 in parking to come to this event that she thought was a brand event for content creators. And she thought that Marshalls was personally inviting her to come to this event to create content amongst other influencers. And she's angry that when she arrived, she realized that, quote, every Joe Schmo off the street was being allowed into this event and that the line was several hours long to get in. And then when she got inside, it didn't live up to her expectations. It sounds like all she got was a free color match voucher and a macaron. Now, in her defense, I do think that Marshalls is partly to blame for the message they sent. Kimberly is a lifestyle creator in the New York City, New Jersey area that regularly tags Marshalls in her videos whenever she posts products from that store or whenever they're featured. And Marshall's direct message to Kimberly's inbox said, "We know how much you love Marshalls and fashion because you tag us all the time, so we'd love to personally invite you," in all capital letters, to this Marshalls event. What Kimberly later learned is that this message was copied and pasted and mass messaged out to who knows how many people, and that she was not in fact personally invited, as this was a public event. But I definitely do see how she got that impression, because Marshalls made it seem that way by their message. At surface level, I completely understand where her frustration is coming from. She just spent a ton of money and a ton of time out of her day to travel to this event that's not at all what she expected. It doesn't feel good to feel like your time and money has been wasted, and so I do feel like she's justified in her frustration about that. However, it's all in the delivery, and it's how she phrased things and what she chose to focus on in her video. Because the thing that she appears to be the most bothered by is that there are regular people at this event and that it's not an exclusive influencer only type thing. She called them Joe Schmoes, and she said that all the people standing in line looked like they just rolled out of bed and that they look, quote, effing homeless. And they clearly don't look like influencers because they don't have nice clothes and nice hair like her. This is where the entitlement is raging. It's so materialistic, it's so shallow, and this is really where all of the criticism is focused. Like, who are you to be pointing out these strangers on the street, judging them based on their appearance, and essentially putting them below yourself because they're not influencers? And you can tell that they're not influencers based on how they look. It's one thing to feel disappointed in an event that a corporation put on. It's another thing to focus your disappointment on the appearances of the other people in attendance. The attitude of feeling like you're above everyone else because you're a content creator and that other people don't deserve to be there because they're not as important as you. It's just rude. Like, anyone watching this video can tell that that is a nasty attitude to be having. And I think the response would have been a lot different if she had chosen to really focus on the company event that was being put on and how the message to her was pretty misleading and how the event itself wasn't very cool and it wasn't worth her time. But no, she focused her irritation on the appearance of literal innocent bystanders on the sidewalk who have just as much of a right to be at that event as she does. People were really rubbed the wrong way by this, and they made sure to tell her about it. Just because you're an influencer and you have a couple thousand followers, that means that somehow you're more entitled to be there than others? No. And let's not forget, she has 8,000 followers, which, again, not trying to follower shame, but 8,000 followers objectively is not significant in the realm of social media influencing. You can't even have your TikTok platform monetized until you reach 10,000 followers. So after watching that video, and when people went to her account and realized how many followers she had, they're kind of taking this response of like, who even are you to think you're that special kind of thing? Who are you calling Joe Schmo when you're a Joe Schmo yourself? That's a comment I saw a lot. Well, of course, Kimberly deleted her full 10-minute version of the video. The shorter version got uploaded and is circulating around places like TikTok and Reddit. And later she posted another video addressing the situation. So here's that.
I am coming on here for a few reasons. Being told to take accountability, and I will. I think that my video was taken out of context. That's not what I meant. And I wasn't trying to directly call those people homeless, or as someone took it, that I called them ghetto and not the event or the key not working, which is what I meant. But because my video was clipped and edited to make it seem like that, and you guys just went with it, that's just the result of that is me getting all of this backlash and threat. And I'll probably still continue to get threats from this, but TikTok has pretty decent cyberbullying guidelines on there, and we'll continue to do what we need to do and anything else that we need to do as far as harassment.
Kimberly is claiming that her video was clipped and it was taken out of context, and that's why everybody's so mad at her, which is the opposite of taking accountability, actually. But it's interesting because she herself decided to delete the full 10-minute version. This 2.5-minute clip has been circulating since she deleted her video, and it appears to be the only remaining evidence of her full-length video, so it's true that there are 7.5 minutes left that we're not seeing currently. But if the full 10-minute video offered so much context and it would have absolved you of all this criticism you're receiving, then why did you delete the full video? And I think the answer is that people must have taken an issue with the full 10-minute video. She was still getting backlash even when people saw it in its entirety, and that drove her to take it down. So I don't think this whole "I'm being taken out of context" defense is really effective. If it was a perfectly fine video where you did nothing wrong and anybody watching it could have seen that you were in the right, then why would you have felt the need to delete it? Probably because there were still issues with the full video.
So I apologize if I came off that I was calling people any sort of derogatory thing. That's not what I meant. Apologize if I've hurt anyone's feelings. That was not my intention at all. I think that clip of that it was cut really made it seem like that's all the whole video was, and it really wasn't. If you were able to watch the entire video, it was an overall projection of the situation that I was put in.
You didn't mean to call anybody any derogatory terms, you're just being taken out of context? Then what the heck is this?
And I should have gotten the hint when I saw every Joe Schmo from off the street that literally looked like they rolled out of bed homeless, waiting in line to get into this thing.
Judging people's appearances and labeling them as effing homeless wasn't meant to be derogatory. We're just misunderstanding your intent. You're just being taken out of context. Okay.
The whole experience was not for a creator, which is what I was invited to as. And for those of you that are like, it was advertised and it's a discount store and it's a pop-up and you should know that, and who are you when you're not a creator? Why would they just invite you? All those things. And that's fine. I get that. When people that don't create don't know what it is to even have 2,000 followers and get sent PR and get invited to events. I have been invited to several events and have gone to several events that also, for the ones that are in public relations and social media managers on here that are saying that's not really how you get an invite. I have been invited to quite a few events via DM that have been solely and exclusively for content creators. So my bad for not going ahead and doubting or asking marshals who it is that will be there, what the details will be. Here is a screenshot of the invite that they sent me, not only on TikTok, but also on Instagram.
I've already conceded that Marshall's was a bit misleading with this message. I can see how she thought that that would be a creator-only event, but here's my question. You get there, you realize at some point that it's not a creator-only event. So what? So what if there are regular people in your presence? Why does it have to be a creator-only event in order for you to find it valuable or worth your time? It's giving, I'm better than you and I deserve special treatment, and when I realized I wasn't getting it, I threw a tantrum. Get over yourself.
I think that my frustration was very valid. I think that anybody who puts a lot of time and effort into making sure that they show up and it not be that would be upset as well. I didn't mean for it to come off that way, and it did for some people. And so I apologize for that. If there was any other issue other than what I truly was explaining and what I truly felt, then Marshalls wouldn't have responded with sending me a large gift card. And also sent an apology as well. So I think that I was valid in what I was upset for. I was expecting to go to a space that was created for content creators, as I was personally invited. I was not aware that it was a public drop-in, that across the board, anyone could agree that when your time is wasted and resources are wasted and when they're limited to begin with, I think that anyone could understand getting upset, overly upset, maybe over-exaggerating. I want to thank Marshalls for reaching out to me and understanding where I was coming from clearly. And hopefully that this is a turning point, not only for them, but for any other brand that sends out an invitation to obvious content creators and it be curated solely for them. because when we go there to create content, it's not a stop along the way for us. And so hopefully that's something that happens in the future with them.
So after all of this happened, Marshalls reached out to her again and they sent her a message saying, "We're so sorry to hear about your experience. We'd love to try and make it up to you with a Marshalls gift card. Could you please share your email address so we can send it your way?" In her eyes, she's taking that to mean, okay, I'm in the right. Marshalls is taking accountability. They know that they messed up. They feel bad. The proof is in the fact that they offered to send me a gift card. And I guess that's one way to look at it, but I feel like another way to look at it would be that Marshalls is trying to placate her so that she stops talking badly about their event and giving them bad publicity. We'll never know the intention of why Marshalls decided to give her a gift card after she threw a tantrum, but that's how the situation resolved. And this apology video is very much "I'm sorry you feel that way" vibes, which as we all know is not an apology at all. She takes zero accountability for her actions or for her comments, and she blames us instead for just taking her out of context. It's all our fault, right, that she called people effing homeless. She never said sorry. She never said, "I hear your feedback. I understand why you're upset. I'm gonna do better in the future." No, it's still coming across very entitled, like she really can't see how her actions were out of line. She can't understand why people are so mad about this, and I don't think she learned anything from it. And actually, another very interesting update, I went back to check on Kimberly's account just yesterday, a few days after I started to work on these notes, and now her most recent post says this: "Hi friends, I've decided to leave the platform, not in defeat, but in peace. A smear campaign tried to define me." I'm sorry. A smear campaign? Come on, girl. Get it together. After receiving threats directed at me and my family, I reported everything. TikTok reviewed the situation and found no violations for a majority of them. The platform continues to uplift creators who build their following through hate, harassment, and bullying. This isn't just about me, it's about a system that fails to protect the people it profits from and protects the liberal mindset and their actions. Okay. This absence became a gift. I remembered how simple life can be beyond the screen. The time away has given me space to breathe, heal, and rediscover what truly matters. I've realized that stepping back is not a loss, it's a gift, and I'm genuinely happy to continue my journey without the platform. To those who saw me, stood by me, supported me, and reminded me of my worth, thank you. Your kindness and encouragement have meant more to me than you know. Without all of you, I would not have had the amazing opportunities, friendships, and memories that came along with content creating. I'm not disappearing, I'm just choosing a different path. One where I'm free to grow without being silenced. I carry your support with me as I move forward, lighter, stronger, and free. With love and gratitude, Kim. Talk about the drama. This is victim mentality if I've ever seen it. First, she tried to blame us, the viewers, right, for just misunderstanding her, taking her out of context, all that good stuff. But now she's blaming TikTok as a platform for not protecting her against these radical bully keyboard warriors. She literally called it a smear campaign. Oh my gosh. It's delusional. It's not a smear campaign. It's a few people calling you out for your the actions. I'm sorry that people on the internet had to inform you that it's not cute to be entitled and that you're actually not better than everybody else and that it's not nice to call people effing homeless. And the reality is she just couldn't take the heat of being held accountable. I feel like it's for the best that she's getting off of TikTok, because if you can't handle a little criticism and take a little accountability when it's called for, then TikTok probably isn't the healthiest place for you to be. And for the record though, if it's true what she's saying about her receiving threats, her and her family receiving threats, that is messed up. That is never okay. I do think that there are some way too chronically online people out there who take things way too far. They have an over exaggerated reaction to these kinds of things. Threatening strangers on the internet because you didn't like something they posted is unhinged, it's unhealthy, and it's uncalled for. Okay, don't be that person. But I'm having a hard time believing that she got like this massive flood of threatening messages to her inbox and she feels like she's in danger or something. While that might be true because there are some freaks on the internet, what I think the more likely outcome is that she just couldn't take the heat of everybody in her comments calling her out for her own actions. So I wish her the life of peace that she's looking for off the internet, and I hope that we can learn from these first two examples in this video about how being nasty and entitled gets you nowhere, and in some cases it even ends your social media career before it can even really begin. So those are the two most recent examples of main character syndrome that just happened recently in like the past week or so. But here's something that happened a few months ago that I've just kind of been holding on to for the right time to talk about it. it, this influencer is actually different from the first two because she has a very large following. Her name is Noelle Loves Sloths on TikTok, and she has 6 million followers. She is a teacher influencer, which I actually have a whole video in this Influencer Insanity series about teacher influencers if you want to check that out. But most of what she posts on her platform are her lunchtime chats. She's in her classroom during her lunch period and she shows you what she's eating. And that's kind of it. She'll be like, today I'm eating a Subway sandwich with a side of chips, or today I got my lunch from the school cafeteria, or sometimes it'll literally be, watch me eat my lunch, no talking. Sometimes she has like a little anecdote about how her day is going at school, but other times it's just you watching her eat. And this is relevant for what I'm about to show you next. We'll circle back to this. Let's rewind to the beginning of this year, specifically Super Bowl season. Here's a video that Noelle posted regarding her feelings about the Super Bowl.
The fact that it is the 3rd year in a row that the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, the city in which I live, the 3rd year in a row that the Chiefs have made it to the Super Bowl, and I have not been invited by the Super Bowl, by the Chiefs, by any brands. Yeah, it feels personal at this point. It really does. I go to the games. I post about going to the games. I wear my Chiefs gear every single week on Fridays, and sometimes on other days too, Sundays obviously as well. I don't know what else I have to do. I am such a huge fan. Ever since I have moved onto Kansas City soil, which I have been living in the Kansas/Kansas City area for almost 10 years now. Ever since I moved here, I've been a Chiefs fan. Not only that, I've been a football fan my entire life. Huge football fan. I watch 6 hours of football every single Sunday. Like, it is my life. I love it so much. And I post about it a lot. And so the fact that I haven't been invited, yeah, I'm heartbroken, especially when I get to see all of these amazing influencers who get invited every year and they have no connection to either team involved in the Super Bowl and sometimes no connection to football whatsoever. Yeah, I want to be invited. So just take this as my application. Brands. I love to eat. I love to drink. I love everything. So that won't be an issue. So if you want to bring me to the Super Bowl in New Orleans this year, I am also a huge Chiefs fan. Like, you will not regret it. I promise. Yeah, it feels personal that I haven't been invited. Honestly, it feels personal. I know it's not, but it feels that way. Go Chiefs.
You think that because you're a football fan and you like to eat and drink that this qualifies you for free Super Bowl tickets? Like, I'm afraid that you just described most of the United States. What makes you special that you think you deserve free Super Bowl tickets? And the obvious answer is her follower count, her social status online that she's let get to her head. She believes that because she has a significant number of TikTok followers that this qualifies her as a candidate for special treatment, as is the theme of this whole video. She admits that she's taking it really personally that she hasn't been invited to the Super Bowl. Why? You're not the center of the world. Your content has nothing to do with football. Why would you just expect to randomly get free tickets to the biggest event in football? It doesn't make any logical sense to me. And this video rubbed people even more the wrong way than the previous examples I showed you because what she's asking for is such a huge thing that has absolutely nothing to do with her. She's not a food reviewer asking for a couple free pastries. She's not a lifestyle influencer getting upset when she's invited to a free public event for Marshalls. This is a teacher who films herself eating lunch every day. That's her content, and she thinks that she is somehow in the running to receive free Super Bowl tickets to the biggest sporting event of the year worth thousands of dollars. It's beyond delusional. It makes no sense. But for some reason, she really does expect that she would get something for free like that, and she's taking it personally that she hasn't. And you might be wondering, why would any influencers be invited to the Super Bowl anyway? And I kind of was wondering the same thing, so I just Googled it. I was like, why are influencers going to the Super Bowl? And basically it's because the Super Bowl is like the biggest marketing and advertising event of the year. Just as Super Bowl commercials are a massive advertising opportunity, so are influencers, right? Influencer marketing. Influencers create hype, they create publicity, they cater to that young female demographic that has the highest purchasing power in our country, but they're also the demographic that watches and cares about football the least. So they're trying to tap into to and appeal to that young female demographic, right? If my favorite influencer goes to the Super Bowl and they create all this content, all this hype about it, then maybe I'll take up an interest in watching the Super Bowl too, right? If my favorite influencer is doing it, then maybe I'll turn it on. It's all about marketing. I mean, think of all the young women who all of a sudden started watching football and caring about it and supporting the Chiefs when Taylor Swift started dating Travis Kelce. It's the same kind of phenomenon where influencers are invited to the Super Bowl for publicity. Not saying that Taylor and Travis's relationship is for publicity, I don't know anything about that, but it creates the same effect. Somebody that young women idolize starts caring about football, they're gonna care about football too, which creates more money. So Noelle, teacher influencer, is essentially jealous that she is seeing other influencers being invited and she hasn't been. Which I guess I can understand a little bit of her frustration if this is the city in which she lives and this is the third year in a row that this has happened and she regularly like wears Chiefs gear in her videos and she's already an established football fan. And honestly, I'm not sure who gets chosen to go to the Super Bowl and who doesn't, like what criteria you have to meet to be important enough to get an invite, but I'm sure it has a lot less to do with your location or your love for football or your follower count, and it has a lot more to do with your content quality and your influence. I could see how whoever is in charge of giving out Super Bowl invitations would probably prioritize an influencer that focuses in like the lifestyle niche. They're traveling, they're attending events, they're documenting their daily life. That would probably be more appealing from a marketing perspective than somebody like Noelle who just tells you about what she's eating for lunch every day in her classroom. Even though Noelle has a lot of followers, she might not have a lot of influence. And maybe she's not what brands are looking for these kinds of opportunities. But again, as you start gaining followers on social media, it starts to go to your head and you start feeling deserving of having things handed to you that have absolutely nothing to do with you or with your content. But this wasn't the only time that Noelle begged for free stuff from brands because of her influencer status. This has happened again. In this video she posted, which I think is worse than the Super Bowl video, and I'll tell you why. The text on the screen says, "Calling any and all brands who come across this video, please watch, I'll love you forever."
If you are from a brand, any brand, and you are coming across this video, I beg you to please watch.
Already not a good sign. If you're from a brand, any brand, literally doesn't matter who it is, please, I beg of you, stop and watch this video. Yikes. Talk about desperate.
I doubt this will get any traction, but I'm just going to try because I am planning my bachelorette weekend. It's coming up in a couple months and I'm so freaking excited. And I'm not gonna tell all y'all exactly where I'm going yet, but I will say we are going to the beach because I love the beach. And I'm working on putting some gifts together for all of my guests, my best friends in the world that are so graciously coming on this trip with me and spending money to be with me. And the way I view this trip is, yes, it's my bachelorette, but like, I view it more as like I'm thanking my friends for walking into my life and changing my life for the better, being my inspiration, being my motivation, and just being such great friends to me. So this trip is really a thank you to them because they're spending money to be with me. Some of them are in my wedding and I just love them all so much. So I want to give them the best weekend ever.
If you want to give your bridesmaids the best weekend ever, then do that. Then you give them the best weekend ever. Why is it random brands' responsibility to gift you a bunch of free stuff so that you can give them to your bridesmaids as a thank you? She's basically admitting that like my bridesmaids are paying a lot of money and they're sacrificing a lot to come on this trip. So I really want to repay them, but I don't want to repay them. I don't want to spend my own money on them. I want brands, literally any brands, all brands, to give me free stuff so that I can give it to my bridesmaids so that it doesn't come out of my own pocket. This logic is so freaking weird to me. How she thought that this was a reasonable thing to request and a reasonable thing to post is beyond me. And again, why do you think you're entitled to this? Because of your follower count? Like that's the only explanation I can think of. She believes that because she has 6 million followers on TikTok that this is an okay thing for her to do and for her to ask for. Main character syndrome, thinking the world revolves around you and that everybody should flock to cater to you. It's truly insane.
Everything that my maid of honor, my sister, and I are planning, like we are keeping everybody, the whole group in mind. Like it's not just only what I want to do. It's like things that, yes, that I would like to do, but that I also think the group would like to do as well. Really want their gifts to be amazing. And my sister and I have already like decided on some things we want to try to give them. But if there's any brands out there that want to take part in some gifting, and I've obviously like I will post all about you and love you forever and support you forever. But just direct message me if you're interested or you have any ideas. I'm just so excited to thank my girls for sticking with me. So
God, red flag, red flag, red flag. Where's the integrity? Where's the discernment? This is not a good look as an influencer to be like, literally any brand, I don't care what it is, but if you give me free stuff for my bachelorette trip, I will, quote, love you forever and support you forever. How can you promise such a thing for brands or products that you may have never even tried? She's literally admitting to being a sellout. That's how I view this. She is telling her viewers straight up that she can be bought. I will rave about literally anything as long as it's given to me for free. It's a horrible look. What a way to ruin your credibility as an influencer. It comes across so desperate, and of course, viewers saw right through this. They gave her a really hard time about this. Why would random brands have an interest in sending you free stuff anyway? Kind of coming back to the Super Bowl conversation. What does your content have to offer that would be beneficial to the brand? If you're asking for gifts for your bridal party, I'm assuming you're thinking along the lines of hair care, skin care, cosmetics, jewelry, clothing, like girly lifestyle kinds of things that have nothing to do with your TikTok content. The only brands I could see sponsoring Noelle or giving her free stuff would be like restaurants or fast food brands, because that's all her content really is eating food. It would actually work out super well if, let's say, Taco Bell has a new menu item coming to the menu and they kind of want to get the word out about it. Well, they can do a collaboration with Noelle where she orders it for lunch and eats it on camera. That's Noelle's niche, that's her lane. That would make the most sense for her content and for her audience, like why people follow her, what kinds of things they want to see. Those are the brands that would see the most value in what Noelle has to offer as a creator. But she's just begging for free stuff to give to her bridesmaids as a gift. Brands are not going to do that, because for what? For what benefit? What's in it for them? Practically nothing. And again, just because you have a lot of followers doesn't mean that this is an okay way to behave or that you're entitled to special treatment. But some influencers really can't see it that way, and that is quite concerning. And here's the last example I wanted to show you for this video. This is an influencer filming in public in a restaurant in Thailand, and it says, POV, I was filming a masterpiece, then the language barrier became an issue and ruined it.
Not here, I'm filming, not here. I'm filming.
She's becoming increasingly more irritated as the waiter is putting down more and more drinks right in front of her camera while she's filming, also known as doing his job. She's telling him, no, not here, I'm filming. But because of the language barrier, he doesn't understand what she's asking and he continues to set down drinks right in frame, therefore ruining her masterpiece of a video. I was fuming when I saw this for the first time. It was such main character syndrome on display that it makes my blood boil. She's sitting in a really dark restaurant with her camera light facing her, blinding everybody in sight, calling so much attention to herself like she's the center of the world, and then she's getting increasingly irritated with the waiter for just doing his job. People had a heyday with this in the comments. Everybody can see how entitled this is, and she posted a response video which riled people up even more. It says, POV, everyone thinks you're rude to staff, but you're actually nice as pie. And she's going through a drive-thru and she's filming herself being nice to the drive-thru worker.
I'll just have an iced latte with oat milk and hazelnut syrup, please.
Of course.
Thank you so much. Small one, please.
A small one?
Yes.
Of course. Anything to do with that stuff?
No, that's totally fine, thank you.
Lovely sauce, man, please.
Right, guys, we need a quick conversation about this waiter video, because I don't think the video that I uploaded is the same video that you guys are watching. Like, you guys are getting wild. It's not how the situation planned out at all. The waiter literally loved us. Every single member of staff in there literally loved us. The owner/main manager, which is a man called Nick, absolutely adored every single member sitting at my table. If you're in Phuket and you just so happen to go to the Three Monkeys, ask for Nick and be like, do you remember that British girl that was dressed like Carrie Bradshaw from SEX and the City? Or like Kate Middleton as she was filming a masterpiece? Was she rude or was she not? And he will tell you that he adored every single inch of my being.
I'm sorry, what? He adored every single inch of your being? What a weird way to phrase that. Very uncomfortable. But she's trying to make herself look better. Like the waiter, Nick, just absolutely loved everybody at their table. They had no issue with him. And if anybody ever talks to Nick at the Three Monkeys in Thailand, he would confirm for them that they were not being a disturbance in the restaurant. Well, that day actually came.
Right guys, the day for redemption has arrived, and this day could not have come soon enough. This is the conclusion. So if you remember a few days ago, I made a video saying someone needs to find Nick, we need to clear my name, I need to be exonerated. Lo and behold, due to the powers of social media, Nick was able to track me down, and the conversation went as follows. She's like, hi, I'm Nick, and I'm like, oh my God, Nick, do you remember us? And he's like, yes, I remember very well. So then I respond by saying, how come you remember very well? Like, were we rude? Was there something that stood out? Like, because do you remember everybody that comes to your restaurant very well? I don't think you do. And then he replied, no, I don't know what happened, why your video went so viral. You were great and actually really funny. And I am really funny in real life. And then I say, anyway, at least now 8 million people know about the Three Monkeys in Phuket. My job is done. He then goes on to say, thank you for your video. Your content is amazing. That is how influencing is done in 2025. An intentional roll of the eyes, make it look like I think I'm so beautiful, make it look like I think I'm a masterpiece, and you guys go wild. Thank you so much for your input, genuinely. Everyone who participated, everyone who sent a viral message, everyone who got so nasty in the comments, thank you so much for your input. And it is only fair that we end this video in true punked style. My name's Tarina Shaquille, and you have been punked. All 8 million of you.
I really don't know what to make of this. Was this all some elaborate rage bait ploy to publicize this particular restaurant? Was it an attempt to go viral and get a lot of attention and have a viral video, as influencers often try to do? Was the first video of her in the restaurant real and genuine and she actually was being serious, but then once she got a bunch of backlash, she flipped it and claimed that it was all fake and intentional? Like, oh, gotcha, you've been punked. We will never know. I can't trust anything I see on social media anymore. It's all so convoluted and it's exhausting to have to like sift through it all and figure out what people's true intentions are. But I guess the lessons to learn here are that people are really fed up with the way that influencers have been acting lately, and the internet will take every opportunity it can to come down hard on those who need a reality check. And in some cases, like the first 3 examples I showed you in this video, these influencers really can't see how they're in the wrong. They are just genuinely acting the way that they think they're entitled to act. But maybe in some other cases, like this 4th example, creators can use this to their advantage by acting entitled, acting like they have main character syndrome as a way to rage bait engagement out of people, as a means to gain attention, views, and money. And with that, that's everything I have to show you for today's video. I feel like this one honestly could become a little mini series within my channel because there are never-ending examples of influencers displaying main character syndrome out there. It is truly wild. So if you ever come across examples like these ones on social media, go ahead and send them my way, tag me in them. Usually it's best to screen record them while you still have it before the creator deletes it, as they often do. But this is a type of behavior that is becoming more prevalent. I think we're only going to see more and more examples of it, and I will continue to take every opportunity I can to call it out when I see it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in my next one real soon.